everyone. Today we're going to be talking about a brand new Kickstarter that is going to go live fairly shortly.
Yep.
But before we get into it, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell because we've got exciting things coming and we want to share them with you. Now, Randy, can you tell us a little bit more about the game that you got to demo today?
Yeah, well, I guess I got to demo 4 games today.
Okay, cool.
Because this is the 18 Hexgames Collection.
Okay.
So the game collection, they call it 18 Hex because 1, it's 18 hexes in each game, but 2, it's 18 games in a series.
Okay.
Now, technically, there'd be a 19th game because there's game 0 in the series that they have already released, and that one's called Q Memory. But yes, there's going to be 3 in the Kickstarter, and that Kickstarter, by the way, is going to be launching June 28th.
Okay. All right. So tell us about the first game you got to demo.
So first I got to demo Q Memory. That was, like I said, the original one they released.
Now you mentioned that it was very sort of like a memory type game.
Yes. The name would indicate that as well. But yeah, there's the hexes have like a border around the perimeter that's different colors. And then inside it's either a black or white circle. So you first have to match 2 tiles either by the external pattern of this color or by the color of the interior circles. Whatever your second one you match with, you have to then find, if you found it by 2 interior circles being both black, you have to take the background of the one that was the second one you found and find the matching background in the white circle. And then once you get that white circle, then you have to find another white circle. So you're alternating patterns as you're trying to find each next match.
Okay.
And if you don't find it, then you have to go back and reset. So it's a matter of getting the puzzle to completely work out. And they have different difficulty levels of that, where you have different combinations of tiles or different patterns where you might have to jump from one set to a different set. And it gets, more progressively difficult depending on which arrangements you do.
Okay, so overall, what did you think of that particular game?
I thought it was a nice little puzzle. I mean, I don't really consider that one so much a game as more of an activity. But it was kind of cool little puzzle, challenging. It's a solo play, really. So yeah, I thought it was interesting, but it got meatier as we went.
Okay, so talk us about the second one that you got to demo. What was that one?
So the second game was Hexdura, and this one was basically kind of like a Carcassonne tile, but it was hexagon shaped, and it had 3 different pattern terrains. So you had water, you had forest, and you had like desert. And the tiles kind of had triangular shapes in there that would divide those terrain types. And most of the tiles would have 2 different arrangements facing one of the sides of the hex that said you had to touch it onto a certain number of a specific terrain type in order to get to remove that tile from the board. And the goal was to, when you removed it, you got to flip it to the other side, which had a completely different puzzle to it, which was the other side had scoring arrangements on it because you had a pedestal, you had storks, and you had acorns. And you had to have a certain arrangement of storks, acorns, and pedestals throughout your island, not necessarily touching that, but in some cases touching it as well, that you got in order to condition, in order to score. Mm-hmm. And there was a total of 15 points that you could score, but you had to basically go through 2 sets of this 18-set tile to get them. And I did not fare well at all. On my first attempt, I got, I think, 4.
So, I mean, overall, though, what do you think about the gameplay? Do you think it's meaty enough to be considered a game? Because the first one you said was an activity.
Yeah, I think this one's more of a puzzle as well. I mean, it's a solo game, but I don't play solo games. So given the fact that, if you're into solo games, I thought it was, a cool idea. And, I liked that one better than the Q Memory. It felt more like a classic Euro-style game that we would play, but it was for 1 player.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, but at the same time, you could definitely see maybe if it was an app form, like you could end up
oh
saying,
yeah, definitely an app I would play like that. But this would actually be a good activity again if you're on the go. You have it in your bag, something to kill time while you're waiting for a plane or waiting for something. It'd be it's a nice activity.
Yeah. I just know sometimes, like, I don't play solo very often in games, mostly because that means I have to get it out and put it away because I don't do that. And so having it in app form makes that a lot more feasible.
But they're not playing.
No, I know. I'm just thinking out loud.
Yeah, but I'm sure lots of our watchers, are going to play solo games, and this would be a good one for them.
Yeah,
to try.
That's what I was thinking.
And you will definitely do better than I did. So
yeah, your 3 points.
Four.
Oh.
Don't take one of my points away.
All right, going to the third one you got to play.
This number 2. This was my favorite of the bunch.
I know you said it was about the Greeks and Romans.
Yes,
correct?
It's called Pantheon,
and it's a 2-player.
It's 2-player, player versus player. It's kind of a chess feel to it, or maybe like a Othello or Go type feel.
Now, do you feel like most of these of the 18 series are only going to be solo or 2 players, or do you think?
I don't know. Like the third one, the ISO, we played 3-player.
Okay, so there's
we'll get to. I think it's going to vary from every game. I think they got different ideas for how, but all of them have the same 18 hex base. I mean, they're different games, different hexes, but the idea is that they're all going to be contained within 18 hexes, which I thought was kind of a cool idea, that they're wanting to keep it so that it's kind of a matching pattern. But Pantheon, I thought was, of these 3, the jewel of them. Basically, each tile had a different one of either the Greek or the Roman gods, and they were 2-sided. So the corresponding Greek god was on the backside of the Roman god. So like Jupiter was on the backside of Zeus, and so on. And you would play a tile, and it would have not only its own scoring definition of how it would score, but also would have it in action where it would either flip another one of the tiles or let you bump tiles or swap tiles. And the scoring conditions would be arranged, basically arrangements of what this one touches at the end of the game. So you're trying to get yourself in a position where your color tiles are going to outscore the opponent's tiles.
Now, you said you got quite a few of the scoring mechanisms, but you still lost for this
Well, they brought in a ringer. I was demoing with Fernando and Jose, and start out with Fernando, and suddenly Jose comes on the call, and I didn't realize Jose is like the champion of this game. So they brought this guy in as a ringer so he could take me down. But I had, there was 13 tiles showing, because in the game you can actually bump on top of another tile and cover it up. So out of the 18, we lost 5 of the tiles from covering them up. So at the end of the game, there were only 13 tiles remaining visible from for scoring. I had 8 of those 13 to my opponent's 5. I thought I was doing well, and he scored mine first, so I thought I got 20 points. I'm doing well. No, after we got to his score, he ended up getting like 40 something. So yeah, I lost badly. So it
sounds like he focused a little bit on it.
Yeah, I think they did that on purpose to humble me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was still a great game. I really enjoyed that one.
Okay, well that's really good. Okay, so now talking about the third one that you got to play.
Yeah, the
fourth one.
The fourth one, yeah. The fourth one was ISO. Now this one blew my mind. I'm still...
But I feel like by blow your mind, you mean like your head hurt, though.
Yes, my brain definitely hurt. This one was quite a puzzle because, again, this is the one that was 3-player that we played.
Yeah.
And there's basically, it's similar in look to the Q memory game, but in this case, it looks like cubes. So they took the hex and turned it into a cube shape. So when you start playing it, it looks like Cubert. I kept wanting to have the little guy go jumping down while I was playing, because it looks like that or an Escher painting, drawing. So you're placing tiles, but you have scoring patterns that you're trying to achieve that everybody has access to. Mm-hmm. So, but those scoring patterns are 2-dimensional. So when you're playing and you've got your 3-dimensional cubes you're looking at, it doesn't necessarily have to be lined up cube-wise, it could, because if you looked at it from a different angle, it's what faces would show that made that pattern. And I still have not got a good concept. I can't think that way. I can't turn a three-dimensional shape into a two-dimensional, even though I know it's two-dimensional, but it looks like a cube. So I struggled with that game, and I still am. But now,
so it sounds like you need a lot of spatial awareness for that one.
That one requires spatial awareness. But that's the one that's stuck in my head ever since. I mean, the other, my favorite was definitely Pantheon, and I think that's, if as a traditional Euro gamer, somebody that's probably gonna be their favorite.
Now, my question is, so about the cube one, do you think you would have done better with a physical copy?
Yes, definitely. I mean, part of my problem is I do not play on Tabletop Simulator at all.
Very often.
Only for demos when we have no other choice.
Yeah.
And so I don't even have to manipulate things in there. So I'm sitting there asking, what do you do to flip a tile? What do you do to turn it? What do you...
That sounds like me when I had to do it that one day. I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yes, it was painful, I'm sure, for them. But it's still a fun experience, and I definitely think that the physical copy is going to be even better.
So here's the real question. Are you going to back it?
I think I am, because first of all, you're getting 3 games, potentially 4 games, and if you back in the first, I think, 48 hours, it's 33 euros, which is roughly $35 for US. So you're getting 3 games for $35. It's like $12 a game. And then shipping, which they've got Spain is where they're in, and Spain and the United States both have 6 euro shipping. So if that's the case, you're basically paying like $40 for 3 games, potentially 4 games.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's some good information. Well, guys, we're excited to bring this to you. Hopefully you'll check it out when the Kickstarter hits. Yay! So we'll catch you guys later. Bye.